Lingering over the trade stance between US and China. President Donald Trump declaring America is back in a trade war with China.
Mr. President, you're meeting with President Xi.
Prime Minister says it has again closed the Strait of Hormuz. State TV has broadcast a statement
sebulan. Tapi kalau peperangan ini berterusan, dia akan memberi kesan kepada bukan kita saja, malah semua negara.
Hello and good morning everyone. Today we are going to present our documentary video on a very important topic, which is world issue that affects Malaysia economy. In today's globalized world, countries are closely connected through a trade, investment, and economic activities. Because of this, events in one country can affect economies around the world. Malaysia is also highly dependent on international trade and foreign investment. So, global economic changes can directly impact the country's growth and cost of living. One major geopolitical issue that affects the global economy is the conflict between United States and Iran. This conflict has involved political tensions, economic sanctions, military threats, and disagreement over regional influence for many years. Its roots can be tracked back in 1953, while tensions increased further after the 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran. Although the conflicts mainly occurs in the Middle East, its effects are felt globally because it influences oil prices and international trade routes. For Malaysia, rising oil prices and disruptions to global trade can increase business costs and cost of living for consumers.
After understanding the preview of the issue that affect Malaysia economy by Adriana, now I will discuss four major global issues that are currently affecting Malaysia. First, geopolitical conflicts. One of the most significant examples today is the tension between the United States and Iran. Although the conflict occurs far from Malaysia, its effect can be felt globally because Iran is located near the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important oil transportation routes. In fact, around 20% of global oil consumption pass through this narrow waterway. When conflicts threaten the security of this route, oil prices tend to increase due to the fears of supply disruption. For Malaysia, this creates both opportunities and challenge. Higher oil price can increase the government revenue from petroleum exports. However, Malaysia also relies on import crude oil for domestic use, which means rising oil price can increase transportation, manufacturing, and production costs. This may eventually lead to inflation and a higher subsidy burden for the government. At the same time, investors often become more cautious during period of conflicts, reducing investment in developing countries such as Malaysia. As a result, economic growth and job creation might be affected. The second issue is global supply chain disruption. A supply chain refers to a network involved in producing and delivering goods from manufacturer to consumers. In recent years, events such as COVID-19, geopolitical tension, and climate-related disaster have disrupted global supply chain. Malaysia is particularly vulnerable because it is highly dependent on international trade, especially in industries such as electronics, semiconductors, and manufacturing. When major supplies face disruption, Malaysia companies may experience shortage of raw materials and components. This can cause the production delays, increase operating costs, and reduce productivity. Small and medium-sized enterprises or SMEs are especially affected because they often have a limited financial resource and fewer alternative suppliers. It is important to note that SME contribute over 90% of business worldwide, making them highly important to economic activity. Therefore, strengthening local manufacturing capabilities and diversifying suppliers are essential steps for Malaysia to improve its economic resilience. The third issue is global economic uncertainty. This occurs when business, investors, and consumers find it difficult to predict the future economic condition due to factors such as inflation, financial crisis, pandemics, and geopolitical tension. During uncertain periods, investors tend to move their money into safer assets and reduce the investment in developing economies. According to the World Bank, foreign direct investment or FDI into developing countries fell to its lowest level since 2005, reaching only $435 billion in 2023. For Malaysia, lower investment inflows can affect the infrastructure development, business expansion, and also employment opportunities. In addition, global uncertainty may weaken the international demand for Malaysian exports such as electrical electronic products, petroleum products, and palm oil. This demonstrates the importance of strengthening domestic demand and diversifying the investment sources to reduce the dependence on external economic conditions. Protectionism and trade barriers are becoming the increasingly important global challenge. Protectionism refers to government policies that protect domestic industries such as measure, tariff, import quotas, and trade restriction. While this policy may benefit local industries in certain countries, they often create difficulties of export-oriented economies like Malaysia. When major economies impose higher tariff or stricter trade regulators, Malaysian exporters may face reduced access to international markets and lower competitiveness. This can negatively affect industries such as electronics, manufacturing, palm oil, and petroleum products. Furthermore, trade barriers can disrupt the flow of raw materials and intermediate goods that Malaysian industries depend on. As a result, Malaysia must continue strengthening regional trade cooperation, exploring new export markets, and maintaining strong international trade relationships to ensure long-term economic stability.
Dad, why are you buying fewer things?
Oh, son, because prices has gone up recently, so we have to spend more carefully.
Why the price increase?
Look at this, son. We take this meat for an example. A few months ago, it was only 5 ringgits. Now it was 10 ringgit.
So the world issue did this?
Yeah, sometimes global issues such as US and Iran can increase the prices due to the trade restriction and transportation costs. See, look at the prices just now. It cost us 15 ringgit only for 3 items.
Yeah, the price has doubled as we bought last month. I didn't realize the world issues have affect our shopping expenses. The following part will discuss about 4 major implications of world issues on Malaysia. The first implication is rising inflation and the cost of living, which can be linked to the Russia-Ukraine war. This conflict disrupts global supplies of wheat, fertilizer, and energy because both countries are major exporters of these products. As a result, food and fuel prices increase worldwide. Malaysia imports many food products and relies on global trade, so Malaysia also felt the impact. For example, the price of bread, cooking oil, and transportation increase. When prices increase faster than income, people have less purchasing power and find it more difficult to afford daily necessities. The second implication is the decline in foreign investment and investor confidence. It is because the tension between China and Taiwan is one of the world's largest producers of semiconductors chips that are used in smartphones, computers, and vehicles. Whenever tension rises in the Taiwan Strait, investors become concerned about supply chain disruption and regional instability. As a result, some investors may delay investment decisions or move their capital to safer markets. For Malaysia, lower foreign investment means fewer business opportunities, slower industrial growth, and potentially fewer job opportunities for local workers. The third implication is increased government expenditure on subsidies, which can be linked to the conflict between the United States and Iran. Tensions between these countries often affect global oil prices because the Middle East is an important oil-producing region. When oil prices increase, the Malaysian government may spend more on fuel subsidies to reduce the burden on citizens. For example, if petrol prices rise sharply due to instability in the Middle East, the government may increase subsidy spending to keep fuel affordable. While this helps consumers, it also places pressure on government finances.
area.
So the fourth implication is the negative effect on Malaysia's tourism and aviation industry, which can be also linked to the COVID-19 pandemic. During the pandemic, countries implemented lockdowns, border closures and travel restrictions to control the spread of the virus. As a result, international travel declined dramatically. Malaysia experienced a sharp drop in tourist arrival, which affected hotels, restaurants, airlines and tourist attraction. For example, Malaysia Airlines and AirAsia faced significant financial challenges due to reduced passenger demand. Many tourism-related businesses also suffered losses and some workers lost their job.
So, moving on to the last point, which is recommendation. As global oil prices continue to fluctuate, countries that depend heavily on the oil and gas sector face significant economic challenges. To reduce this risk and ensure long-term stability, several important measures can be considered. So, one of the most effective approaches is economic diversification. For many years, oil and gas have contributed significantly to national revenue. However, depending too much on a single industry can make an economy vulnerable to external shocks. When global oil prices fall, government income and economic growth can be affected. Therefore, expanding other sectors such as manufacturing, tourism, agriculture and technology, and renewable energy is essential. A more diversified economy creates new opportunities, attracts investment and strengthens the country's ability to withstand global market uncertainties. So, another important step is strengthening energy policies. As the world moves towards cleaner and more sustainable sources of energy, governments must adapt to charging energy demands. Investing in renewable energy such as solar and hydropower can reduce reliance on fossil fuels while promoting environmental sustainability. At the same time, encouraging energy-efficient practices among business and households can help reduce overall energy consumption. Strong energy policies not only improve energy security but also support sustainable economic growth for future generations. So, in addition, maintaining strategic petroleum reserve is crucial for national preparedness. These reserves act as a safeguard during periods of crisis, such as supply disruptions, geopolitical conflicts, and sudden spikes in oil prices. By keeping sufficient reserves, government can ensure a stable supply of fuel when unexpected events occur. This helps protect important sectors like transportation, manufacturing, and public services from major disruptions. In many ways, strategic reserves serve as a safety net, providing stability during uncertain times. Finally, government intervention and policy measures play a key role in minimizing the impact of oil price fluctuations. Through targeted subsidies, tax incentives and financial assistance programs, government can support industries and communities that are most affected by rising fuel costs. Sectors such as transportation, tourism and logistics often experience the greatest challenges during periods of high prices. Effective government policies can help ease these burdens, maintain economic stability and protect the welfare of citizens.
Thank you, Shafiq, for the recommendations. In conclusion, global events and political conflicts can affect countries around the world, including Malaysia. As an open economy, Malaysia is influenced by changes in global trade, investment, and price, which can impact businesses and the cost of living. To face these challenges, Malaysia must strengthen its economy through a better policy, stronger local industries, and improved energy security. Maintaining good international relations is also important to support trade and economic growth. Overall, global uncertainty cannot be avoided. Proper planning and preparation and can help Malaysia reduce its impact and continue achieving sustainable economic development. Thank you.